Hello and welcome back to Not Too Young. This is our second ever episode, and today, what are we talking about, Arjun?
Oh, you're talking on the new Apple event, spring loaded one. We're going to talk about the product lineup.
Yes, the Apple Spring Loaded event. And forgive me if you can hear my keyboard. I've just switched to the mechanical keyboard, and it's very nice. Recommended by Arjun.
Oh yes, I also have a mechanical. I think it's better. Feels more satisfying.
It's definitely more satisfying. So, what have you been up to in the morning?
I watched a summary of the whole event.
Uh
Plus,
huh.
I can bear watching the whole 101, but I know most of the stuff.
Okay.
So how about you?
I've been through Sanjan training
Yeah.
and also playing Minecraft.
And also the AFS English.
Yes, for the
Thing.
exchange program, which is very expensive indeed. Anyway, let's move on. So, the Apple event. So, it happened like 4 or 5 days ago, right?
Yes.
So, it was called the Spring Loaded event. Hello, Spring. So generally, broader view. Don't go too much into the key things, but what is your reflection or what do you think about it? Don't go too much in the products.
Oh, I think it was more of like a minor event. Didn't release too much big stuff. There were a
Mhm.
few big announcements, but like not as big as the last event.
So,
It
if
was
you
like
have
one
read
small.
the blog post that I posted, which
Uh,
will be in the link in the description, you'll understand why we don't like it as much as the past Apple events.
yes.
It was really minor, nothing big. I really thought since they're releasing it in spring that there was going to be an
Oh,
Apple vacuum cleaner or an
oh,
Apple, lawnmower because of the spring cleaning tagline. But it,
nice.
but there wasn't actually anything like that. So let's tell. So they released the first product. What did they release?
Oh, it was the AirTags. It
Mm-hmm.
cost 29 for one, and the set cost 99 for four.
Hmm.
It's like basically it's like you just stick it onto whatever you want, like a wallet, and you will track that wallet. So if you lose it somewhere, you
Hmm.
will be able to find it easily. This is actually, I think, the most useful thing they released in the event. Most big announcement.
That's the biggest announcement, and
Right.
also they also released the colored iMacs and the purple iPhone, which is a very controversial one, which we
Yeah.
will surely discuss, and also the iPad Pro, which has
Uh,
the new Magic Keyboard.
and it contains the M1 chip.
Uh huh.
Don't know
Yes.
how they managed to add in.
So I don't think the iPad. So let's talk about the iPad first, since we do it from last to first.
Yes.
So
So
it has the M1 Mac chip, and so does the MacBooks, right?
yes.
I think it's really not so smart of them to put the M1 chip in the iPad and also the MacBook.
Yes, yes.
So the iPad is an 11 inch, the MacBook is a 13 inch. There isn't much different for the 2 inches. And also, if I were to buy either the iPad or the MacBook currently, I would definitely go for the iPad because it has the same specs or sometimes even better than the MacBook. It has a touchscreen display and it's more thinner and lightweight. So
Yes.
I was just wondering why did they actually put the M1 chip? Like, if you actually see it from a broader perspective, it's like they're killing their MacBooks. So I wouldn't be
Uh,
surprised if MacBook sales actually drop after this.
yes. I think they were just like trying because they were for a long time trying to make the iPad like a computer killer or laptop killer. This is
Yeah,
just their effort to
and
add on to that.
in last year's keynote, the final one, in when they launched the M1 MacBooks, they say that the iPhone was to make the Apple Watch was to make sure you didn't have to have an iPhone around you. The iPhone was to make sure you didn't have to have an iPad around you. The iPad
Oh,
was around to make sure you didn't have a MacBook around you. and the MacBook was around to make sure that you didn't need an iMac. So I don't know why they actually said that to public, because now they'll be thinking, okay, so they're basically telling that the Apple Watch is better than the iPhone, but then you actually need an iPhone to run an Apple Watch. You get that?
Oh, yes, yeah, that's yeah.
And then when they say they want an iPad to replace a MacBook in the coming years, what they're basically doing is telling people, giving people another line of thinking. Wait, should I buy the MacBook? They've just come and said like that. Maybe I should go for the iPad, which is significantly cheaper. And
And
also, as another thinking around them, so they've actually put their M1 chip into the iPad. So even if the M1 chip is powerful enough, why did they not put the Intel chips in the iPad? So people are now starting to think, maybe is Apple's M1 chip not really that good?
yes, because the iPad, even with the M1 chip, I feel like it won't make a big difference to the iPad. It'll just be
Yeah, because the
maybe
iPad
faster.
since 2016, we never had any problem with speed for the
Uh,
iPads and the iPhones.
yes, yeah, so it's like just kind of a minor
That's
benefit.
yeah. Although they released it with big expectations, I don't really think it would make any big difference to the market, other than giving people another reason to think on the things they are wanting to buy. So the price of the iPad starts from $800, which for you in the UK is $750. It comes in two color selections, space gray and silver, with the normal Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi cellular. And also, there's new cases for the iPad. Have you checked that out? It looks very nice.
Oh
We'll
yeah.
leave the pictures on screen,
And
and the new
and
Magic Keyboard as well.
they've added a white color option for that.
White keyboard with 5G as well for the iPads.
Yeah.
It's a big step up from the 4G they used to have. Anyway, let's move on to the next minor sort of controversial thing, the purple iPhone. So what do you
So
think about that, Arjun?
I think this is very minor. I think it's just giving more options to maybe whoever wants to buy an iPhone. It can be easily overlooked. In fact, I didn't even know this thing existed when the thing. But I think it's a good like it gives it more options to the people who want to buy an iPhone. How about
Really?
you?
Wow, I think the
Nice.
opposite.
Oh yeah.
I really think it's just DUMB of them to release an iPhone with a different color 6 months after they released the original batch. I don't know why they want to do it. Like, okay, even if they wanted to release a purple iPhone, they should have released it during the release of all the other iPhones back in
Yeah,
October,
that's true.
November. And now with I don't think these iPhones are going to sell well actually.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually. I think he's just trying to
They're just
get
trying to
people
they're trying
hyped to
to
get the iPhone again.
hyped about the iPhone 12.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and then the color selection for the iPhone 12 is quite crazy actually, and now with the addition of purple it's become much more crazier. So why do you think it would benefit people, Arjun? Why do you think you agree with what they said?
It gives these more options. More options are always better. Be somebody's favorite color is purple. Now they get a purple iPhone. So just for those small people, they would be very happy now. And
Yeah.
there's no like major downsides. Nothing. Nobody loses. It's just like they should have did it when they released all
And
the iPhones.
mhm. Yes, and if you look at the stocks of Apple, it has actually dropped by, I'm not a stock reader, but it's actually dropped by quite some. Yeah, it's actually dropped after their keynote. So their keynote was on April. Yes. So it's actually dropped by quite a significant amount. And I think the iPhone adds up to everything.
That's it. But do you know what
Yeah.
else has a really crazy color scheme. The
What?
IMAX,
Of
the new one.
course, the IMAX. Crazy
They
IMAX.
yeah, they went with their the first ever, like, well, not around the first ever IMAX color scheme that
Yes, it was back in 2005 when they actually had an IMAX selection with this color scheme. But
is
so, what is your take, Arjun? Do you think it's gonna sell well? Do you think it's gonna be realistic for people to buy the iMac with this type of selections? They do have the silver one, but nowadays, if you go to shops, even in Apple shops, they don't use the silver iMacs. They use the space gray iMacs
oh nice.
because it
I
just looks a
think
bit darker and nice. So, what do you think about it?
I don't think the other colors will sell quite well, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it'll be received well also. From what
Mm-hmm.
I've like seen from YouTube and all social media,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I quite like this change of coloring. Like I like more brighter colors, gives
Of course, you
more
do.
options also.
Color nerd.
I, but I took a course on what color theory the other day. Just randomly, I found it.
Okay,
How about you?
so
What do you?
I think the reason they released these colored IMAX is because they want to capture the home market. So like I mean nobody sees this colored IMAX going in offices and everything. It's just too colorful.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
And
Also,
also,
they
sorry, go on.
they in like I think not and maybe around this year, at the end of this year, they're going to release like another version of the iMac or something like that.
Yeah, they're
It's
gonna
like
release the
uh,
27-inch version, and
yeah,
I don't think it's gonna come with this color scheme. I think the reason they released this color scheme, and we can see it by the ads as well, that so based on the advertisements, the IMAX were shown in houses, nowhere in offices, only in houses.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
also, they had an event with top programmers from different companies who said the iPad Pro was great for programming, but they didn't even talk about the iMac, which is really intriguing considered the iMac is considered more powerful. So what I think
Oh
they're
yes,
trying to do is capture the home market. The iMacs are definitely, I think they're gonna sell for the home people at
oh,
home
oh, yeah.
and everything.
And
Go
then the
on.
27-inch one would be for the workplace.
Workplace, yeah. And so like if you see in the ads, it's about working from home environment where you have your kids in the background, and with the
Oh
new
yeah, yeah.
microphone edition, it's like it only captures the voice of the person in front of the camera, so you don't actually you're not actually disturbed by the background noise of your kids playing around and everything. So I think yeah, it's since since we are in this pandemic, and it looks like we're gonna have working from home for some more time. I think I don't know, I'm still 50-50 with this. I
Fine,
don't know, it's either gonna sell or it's not either not gonna sell. So
fine. But
the iMac, when are they actually open selling? Sorry, go on.
um, I actually don't know when they're going to open the thing. But there
But
are a few other selling points of the iMac other than just the crazy colors.
yeah, yeah.
What now? It's super thin. Like
Yes,
you can't even plug a
you can't even plug a headphone jack.
headphone jack. The headphone jack is longer than the iMac, the
Yeah,
metal part of the jack.
So the headphone jack has been transferred from the back to the front, and all the
To the
from
side.
the back to the side, and you need another docker to plug in all your USB
Yeah.
accessories.
Now the cheapest one only has two Thunderbolt ports.
Two Thunderbolt, which is like a MacBook actually,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
which proves that they're not actually trying to sell this iMacs to the office, because when you're in the office, you plug in so many stuff, your hard disk, your keyboard, your,
Yeah, yeah.
your other external hard drives and everything. So but the one thing I think they did really really good in this is the arrangement. So in the Apple keynote, they actually showed the back of the iMac. They
Oh
showed
yeah.
the back of the iMac, and it was really really clean. So it's only made. We'll show the video on screen. It's only made out of small chips. So the it's everything is really small, and it's all in the bottom chin that you see, which is not the screen. The bottom chin.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's,
And the bottom chin is I don't really know why it needs to be there. It could have been the screen, or it couldn't even been there, and it would have looked much better.
uh, that's the thing. They could have made the because thinness not really important for the iMac, whether how
Be-
thin it is, because
because you're not actually carrying it anywhere.
yeah,
It's in a static place.
and most of the time you're looking at it at the front, not like at the side, so nobody will really pay attention to that. So they could have just like made the thing more thicker and put all of the parts at the back of the thing and not have the chin.
Made it more cleaner.
Yeah.
And then so if you have the side view of the iMac, it actually looks like a box, just nothing. It doesn't
Oh yeah.
look like it has any components inside it, which is really really smart.
Oh
Looks
yeah. Yeah.
very nice. And also dropping with the colors is the mouse, trackpad, and the keyboard
Oh
of
yeah.
for the iMac,
They on the keyboard they added a fingerprint scanner.
which is
So
very nice, very
uh,
easy.
always a nice addition.
And
And
also they have the mouse color selection. So if you buy a red pink iMac, it comes with pink mouse and a pink keyboard and a pink trackpad if you want the trackpad.
what?
But I still don't see this going in offices, so we can broadly agree with that.
Yes, that one I can definitely agree with. More of a
So the
home
cheapest
thing.
of the iMacs comes at 1,299 or £1,000 for those in the UK, and the most expensive one, which has 3 USB ports and 2 Thunderbolt ports, comes
Uh,
at $1,699. So
oh,
that's
yeah,
it, I think, for the iMac.
yeah.
Now we move
And
on to the most rumored, most awaited. I really didn't await this, but watching a lot of YouTube videos about this Apple event, people have been expecting this for a long time. And the thing we're talking about is the AirTag. So we already mentioned the AirTag at the start a bit, but we didn't really go too deep on it.
nice. Yeah, it has been rumored for a long, long time. Before it even was in production, people knew about it.
Mhm.
Now they finally
And
released it.
now they finally released it after a long wait. So
Okay.
the AirTag, what is an AirTag? Can you explain it, Arjun?
So basically, it looks like hopefully the picture of it will be on screen now. It looks like a keychain that you would stick maybe to your keys or on your wallet, and it
Mhm.
tracks and it will track wherever the thing is. So maybe you accidentally left the thing at a coffee shop or something, and if you have your iPhone with you, you can just on the iPhone and it will locate where the AirTag is and
Mhm.
where the thing is. Also,
And yeah, continue.
uh, it's not like this is the first type of thing there is like for AirTag type of things, but it's the most well integrated. Like if anybody's iPhone is near the AirTag, it will send the signal to your iPhone and it will alert them so they can retrieve it for you.
And
And
also,
also,
if you have left it in a public place and another iPhone user walks past the
yes,
AirTag, there'll be a notification for him
yes,
or
yes,
her who's using the iPhone. And then when you go near the AirTag and scan the AirTag to your bag, to your phone, sorry, to your phone, it'll
yes.
actually display the phone number and the name of the owner. So you can actually call and tell them your keys or your bag or your wallet is here. Like when do you
Yes.
want it? Where can we meet and everything.
Yes. Oh, and also this type of AirTag has a reusable battery, unlike most other types of thing like this. Like there's another one called Tile, I think. That one
Mhm.
it's cheaper than the AirTag, but it's a one-time use thing, which means
Yeah,
if
which means
you either
if the battery runs out, then
ah yeah.
it's
So okay, that's it for the AirTags, and that's about it for this Apple event. Guess it was not that much new announcements, only a few minor things.
yeah.
The AirTag. That's
And
all there is here.
make sure to subscribe to Not Too Young and also our blog post at
Yes.
nottooyoung.substack.com. And yeah,
Yes.
that's about it. We'll
Okay.
see you in the
Thanks.
next one. Bye bye.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.